I really love the fall of the year. You know why? The fish can put the feed bag on and there's not that many boats on the water. One thing I always do when I'm going out, whether it's late season or any time during the season, is do a little bit of a circle check on the boat. First of all, I charge the batteries and I'll also make sure that it's fueled up. I'll run some Phase Guard 4, some fuel conditioner stabilizer in the gas. Also, I'll fill up the oil, and you know, it's all about being prepared, and that's what today's show is all about.
Coming up. On this week's episode, Bob catches a smorgasbord of multi-species with the Johnson Thinfisher blade bait and its sonic vibrating action fish can't resist. And later, Bob and Terrell Marana share some laughs and ranger time on Lake Ontario, fishing for largemouth bass.
Wow. Thump, thump, thump. Here we go, boys. Wowee. That thing is a monster. They fight hard, don't they?
Look at that magnificent fish.
Look at the size of that fish.
There he is again.
The color is incredible. Yeah, that's a nice one.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
All right. That is a big rainbow trout, Chris. Nice double header. Whoa.
Nice jump.
Yeah. All right. Man, that is so cool. Another one, there we go. The biggest pike I've ever caught. Look at that chunk.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water, and Tim Hortons.
On the Real Fishing Show, we make catching fish like this a possibility. Here we go. Feels like a decent one too. Man, just didn't even hardly really feel it hit, just loaded up on the rod. And grab the net here. Just loaded up. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. That's a big hole. Big old smallmouth. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, nice. That is what I love about fall fishing, are these big slab-sized smallmouth bass. The bait is just choked right down. Check that out. That Johnson Thinfisher is right down. Okay, there we go. Look at that. There's the bait. That is so cool. That is a fatty. Now, I want to put this fish in the live well just to get a few pictures of it later on. And one of the cool things about Ranger boats is they have incredibly good live wells. They're insulated and they keep the fish alive because not only are they aerated, but they're oxygenated as well. All right, walleye. Very cool. That's what I like about these blade baits, though, is not only can you have fun catching and releasing smallmouth bass, which was my target species, but I'm getting some good eating walleye here. That right there is a bonus. Put that in that Ranger live well. How you work this bait is really important. What I'm doing is I'm making a medium cast out and I'm letting it get all the way to the bottom. And I'm watching my electronics. So here's the deal is I'm holding into this bit of a wind we got. It's not a big wind. It's probably about a 6-inch chopper. So, maybe a 4, 5, 6 mile an hour wind. And I'm holding in the wind and I'm just zigzagging around looking for fish on the graph, and when I do find them on the graph, I'm dragging that Thinfisher through it and just lifting it and dropping it on bottom, let it sit for 2 or 3 seconds, and then lifting it and dropping it. So I'm going to let this bait get caught up to the boat here, and I'll go over some more fish here. But the cool thing about it is you can cover water this way, and on big water like Lake Erie or other Great Lakes, you can just let this thing down and slow troll it by lifting and dropping this bait and covering water. Or if it's windy, just let the wind take you and just Vibrate it up, let it fall down. Vibrate it up, let it fall down. And sometimes pause it for 2 or 3 seconds when it hits the bottom. That seems to be when we're getting a lot of strikes in this colder water.
Finding the fish and catching them with the Johnson Thin Fisher when we return. Stay tuned. Closed captioning is brought to you by BoaterExam.com. Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water. When it comes to living things, size is a relative term. It's just human nature to believe that bigger is better. The same applies to fish. And while anglers might argue the point, quality versus quantity is a better line of thinking. Still, it's safe to say that all of us operate in the hope of catching giant fish. Nowhere is this fixation more apparent than with largemouth bass. Fact of the matter is, there are 2 distinct forms. At the same age, the northern variety barely reaches half the size of the Florida strain. It's a matter of genetics, not just a shorter growing season. As it is everywhere, fertile waters consistently produce big largemouth. Places that resemble pea soup are prime locations. Take a close look at that debris to realize the water is literally alive with organisms. On lakes with unlimited spawning habitat and few predators, largemouth overpopulate to extreme levels. Thousands of stunted and skinny fish are the result. Strange as it may seem, this type of situation has the greatest potential of producing a record-breaking monster. Cannibalism is the reason. In restrictive environments, a very small number of largemouth learn to feed exclusively on their own kind. This 24-inch specimen is just such a fish.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh man, thing just hammered it. Oh, look at that. Now this just goes to show you what this bait will catch. Now this thing here is, he's hooked underneath, but he's also hooked in the corner of his mouth. That is a jumbo perch right there. That's a monster perch. And that's the cool thing about blade baits is they will catch just about anything that swims. That's a big, big perch. And that will taste very good with those walleyes. What do you think? All right, it's going in the live well too. You can see right here on the bottom, you see how we got some thicker coloration here? That's a fish, and then of course there's a fish coming in the screen now. I'm just gonna keep the electric motor going forward. I've got my thin fisher under the boat, but it's back a bit. So what I'll do is I'll keep going beyond these fish. And wow. Yeah, that's some fish layered there. That's a good deal. Let's see if we can get one to bite. This thing just stopped it, man. It just hammered it. Oh, look at that thing. Now, I prefer a little bit shorter rod for fishing these, and I got a Veracity rod here, a 6'9". Look at that. Oh, yeah, another good walleye right there. Check this out. Another good walleye. Oh, yeah. And that thing just hammered it. Oh, there we go. That's so cool. Whoa, baby. You mark them on the graph, and then you do, whoa, that's a smallmouth. That's definitely not a walleye. Oh, yeah. All right. That water's, what is it, 58 degrees, so it's definitely, they're not in the jumping mode. Look at that. We're talking one hook. Look at that. But they really put good hooks on these thin fishers. And that's not an expensive bait. That's like a $3 or $4 lure right there. You know, it's just incredible. Well, let's put this fish back in. See you later, buddy. Well, I only got out for a few hours this afternoon. The sun's going down. It's a beautiful October evening out here on Lake Erie, and didn't get any real giant fish, but just to show you, this bass has been in the live well now for over an hour. You can see how perfectly healthy that smallmouth is, and that's the cool thing about these Ranger live wells. They sure do keep them alive. And we'll just send them back. See you later, buddy. All right. Well, you got to get some of these Johnson thin fishers. These things are an incredible bait for deep water fishing. And as you can see by the walleyes I caught, I've got some good eating coming up. And what can I say? These things catch them all. All right.
When we return, Taro Murata joins Bob for some laughs and largemouth bass action. Stay tuned. This tip of the week is sponsored by Coleman, the outdoor company.
It seems that wherever my travels take me, bugs can really put a damper on your outdoor adventure. Whether it's black flies, mosquitoes, deer flies, or ticks, or a combination of them, pesky insects can be a real pain. With all of the time I spend in the outdoors, I like to be prepared. Today I have a few products from the folks at SC Johnson. First, if you lead an active lifestyle, there's Off Deep Woods Dry Insect Repellent. Once applied, it quickly dries with no oily or greasy feeling. Not only does it repel mosquitoes for up to 8 hours, you don't even know you're wearing it. Then there's the Off Clip-On Mosquito Repellent. Off Clip-On is a small, lightweight, battery-operated device that clips onto your belt or bag to provide effective head-to-toe protection from bothersome mosquitoes. The fan unit to the Off Insect Repellent creates an odorless dome of protection that lasts up to 11 hours within the immediate area you're in. You can purchase refills separately for future use that can be used within 2 weeks of opening the package. Whether you're stationary at the campsite or watching sports or just in the backyard, this is a handy little device that's easy to use. Now let's get back to some more real fishing.
I'm on vacation.
It's a little bit of a reversal today. I'm the guide and he's the guide, but I'm the guide's guide. Hey, Bob Azumi here, and I'm here with Taro Murata. Taro's a professional guide in Toronto. What is it, Fish City Tours?
Fish City Tours.
You guide what, on a couple dozen lakes in, within a few hours of Toronto?
They're all over the place.
Giant Lake Simcoe smallmouth, Rice Lake walleye, salmon, pike in Toronto. And speaking of smallmouth, him and his partner just won the Lake Simcoe Open. Paul Castellano, another professional guide from down Niagara River, Lake Erie, teamed up with Taro, and the two of them spanked everybody last weekend on Lake Simcoe and caught 24 pounds and change of smallmouth bass. But today we're fishing largemouth, and we're in my water now. You ready?
I don't know if I'm being guided because Bob's really a competitive dude. I think he just wants to bring me to his water to put the herd on the champ.
We'll start right here and see if we can't catch him.
Hey, you're cheap on gas, man.
Well, you know, as a guide, you have to look at the bottom line, okay?
Shaving costs, I hear what he's saying.
Here's fish.
Fish, fish, fish. Where'd that one come from?
Here we go.
He's already beaten up on his
right.
client. 1-0. But good call on the crank, Bob.
Well, you know what? That wind came up, and we're just trying to keep out of the wind here. I'll just hold. Oh, nice largemouth. Check this out.
Want me to help you there?
Check this baby out. Oh, it's a good one.
Oh, it's a nice one. Oh!
Oh, he came off!
Man! He tore him off!
That was a good fish.
That was a giant, man.
Oh, no way.
That was a big fish, man.
And you know, here's the deal, is that's on a little Sebile crankbait. All right.
Let me catch a fish now or what?
I don't know,
that was
but
a big fish, man. That was a big fish.
here we go.
Again?
Yep. Oh, nice one. Look at the size of this one.
It is a good one.
It is a good one.
Nice fish.
Oh, yeah.
He just ate that bait. Well, I want my money back. This guy's putting the hurt on me, the client.
Here, let me see. Where's those pliers?
Look, he wanted that.
Check this out. That's called choking a crankbait down right there.
You think you wanted that thing or what?
Wow. Okay.
I think you got the right bait. When you see that, you got the right bait. He's got the right bait.
You know, for a guide, man, all you want to do is fish. I can't believe it's like your day off or something. Okay. There we go. Nice largemouth right there. Sweet.
And now you never fished here before, you said?
Well, you know what, I've fished Quinte a lot, but to be honest with you, it's a northeast wind, so I just decided we'd pick an area that's calm out of the wind, so I've never fished this low area we're in
I
in
like
my
that
life.
thinking. This guy's thinking here.
Hey, you know, you gotta get out of the wind.
Oh, nice!
Nice.
This is a good fish. This is a good fish.
Oh,
Bob.
that's a big fish.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Ooh, I got him barely hooked.
Okay, I'll get down there and grab him for you. I can get him. Oh, look at this. Look at how he's fighting this, folks. There's some body language there.
I
Oh,
wanna
that's a
get-
big largemouth.
I want to get a bigger fish than the Jedi Master.
That's a big largemouth. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Don't come off.
Uh-oh.
Don't come off.
You want me to grab him?
That's how they say.
Oh.
Man, that's a good fish.
Okay, hold on. Oh, he's just barely.
He's gonna try and shake
Oh,
this
no.
off, Bob.
He is.
Don't shake this off. Put him on. Oh, no.
Oh.
Get him, Bob.
Oh,
yeah.
There, grab him.
Yeah.
Look at the
Nice
size
fish.
of that thing. That's a
Nice
big
fish.
one.
He's got a nice mouth on him, right? Barely hooked. And he was, I think Bob was taking extra long seeing that hook there. He's a competitive guy. He wanted that fish to come up.
Oh, I didn't. I wanted you to catch him because I know that, you know, as a guide today, I might get a good tip at the end of the day.
Well, thanks, Bob.
Now, you got that Fire Tiger Sabile, and this one here is called a Vibe Machine.
I'm hooked on these baits. I can't wait to use these for the walleye.
Nice fish. All right, let's get a photo.
Nice chunk, eh?
Yeah, look at how fat it is. You can put her back?
Yep, absolutely.
All
I'm
right.
happy I got one in the boat. Now I want to get the ball really rolling. Come on, baby.
You're so competitive.
Hey, can you get this hook off my head?
I'm telling you, these Vibe machines hook everything, including
Mr. Largemouth over here.
suckers.
Suckers.
All right.
Taro and Bob observe the science of fishing when we return. Stay tuned.
Well, let's get the power poles up. That's one of the cool things about fishing nowadays is little things that make our life a lot easier. And in this case here, I put the power poles down. We're locked down on this rocky shoreline, and I'll just lift them up right now, and we're in business. We'll just keep fishing down the bank.
Why do you like these the rattle baits in this type of fall type of
You know why?
temperature?
Because the weeds are starting to die off.
Yeah.
Largemouth are starting to move out of the weeds. And as they start moving out of the dying brown weeds that use oxygen rather than produce oxygen, any of these wind-blown rock shorelines are good spots for the largemouth to just be before they start to really bunch up. Now, there should be areas where they're really bunched. Now, we may not hit any of those today. We're just seeming to get one here, one there. But boy, when you can find the mother lode, it could be a fish every cast for 20, 30 casts, you know, but they start to bunch up. Weeds die off, the fish usually congregate. But today, since we only got so much time, I'm just using these crankbaits thinking that, hey, cover water, put the odds in your favor, fishing not where the fish used to be, but where the fish have moved to, and where the fish have moved to are any transition spots, rock points, rock shorelines, anything off of those areas where they may summer, you know? What do you got?
I don't know. I just thought I'd drag it.
Oh, pike!
I used my best FLW.
Pike hunter. You ran 21 feet the length of this 521C bass boat. That was a 21-foot hook set, folks. That's what champion fishermen do, like
Yeah, I
Carol
like this Long
Murata.
Ranger, man. The Long Ranger.
That was a hook set. Using that Berkeley Chigger quad with a flipping stick, and he threw a long cast out. Awesome.
I thought you were my guide today, Bob. You know, usually guides will take the hook out of
I
toothy
see.
predators like this.
So I'm supposed to de-hook it. There you go. The
We'll
pike
take it.
master. You are a professionale, aren't you?
Good guides like Bob, they always like to make their customers feel like real winners. Because we're near the end of the day and it's about time to give them a tip maybe.
Hey, you know what you should give you a tip on? How to fish Simcoe in the fall. After you and Castellano winning the Lake Simcoe Open this weekend, you would think you'd throw a dog a bone. Nice. Whoa. All righty. You are the hog hunter. That was power
That barely
fishing.
hooked him too. That's lucky, man. That was a
On the old chigger quad.
Look at that, look, he's got a tag there.
Oh, cool, double tag.
He's an antenna, he looks like kazoo.
Wow.
The green, great kazoo.
Well, we're fishing outside of Belleville, so let's take that tag number down,
Yeah.
okay? And I'll talk to Dr. Bruce Tufts, who's a friend of mine, and we'll find out about this fish, okay?
I wonder what Dr. Bruce is gonna say. Let's call him.
Hello?
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's always a riot fishing with guide Terrell Murata, even when I have to take him to my spots, you know, just because he's a big tournament champ, you know, and all. And I'll tell you, let's take the information from this down. The sun's going down. Always a pleasure, man.
Unbelievable, love it.
Always a
Last
pleasure.
second.
And
Oh,
he
boy.
catches a tagged fish.
You know,
Hey.
by the lip, barely.
Well, let's find out the information on it. Should be very interesting. What do you
Cool.
think? All right, Terrell.
Hey.
Tagged
Well, tagged
fish,
it,
man.
you know? Hey.
Very cool.
What do you think that tag says about him? How old he is, what he likes to eat, places he likes to go? I don't know.
No, it tells you when he was caught before.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so we'll find out when it was weighed in and what year. It might have been tagged this year or last year. Should be interesting. Yeah, all right. This is a big fish. That is a fish of a lifetime. Well, that is just amazing.
Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, man. Woo. That was too cool. Oh, man, what a fish. Look at that. Yes.